Hi, my name is Dr. John Duong, and I would like to welcome everybody to my ADD, ADHD, and autism seminars. So I just go over a quick outline of what we're going to talk about today. Is going to be the stats. Are we getting healthier or getting sicker? How come there's more and more autism or more diagnosis of ADD, ADHD? We want to go over the stats. And what's the management? Once the kids has the problem, how are we going to take care of these kids? Are we do it with more of disease management, or we want to find a way to help and fix the problem, fix the ADD, ADHD? Children's behaviors, to me, the children's behavior, autism is not a disease. To me, it's not a disease, it's a symptoms. We need to find out what's the cause of the symptoms and help the kids to fix the problem, and so they can live a better quality life, not only for the kids but also the families. Okay, ADD, ADHD, why the medications work in the first place? Is it about dopamine or is it something else? Okay, and it's not working now. ADHD, some of the ADD medication doesn't work for the inattentive kids. Lack of focus, learning disability, and autism. The development of the brain is not about the development of the brain. The brain is being developed, but how come they're still functioning like a younger kid? Like for example, if they are 16 years old, the brain is developed to be a 16 years old, but they're acting like a 6 years old. Why is that? And it's a software problem. I will talk to you what is the software. Fix the software so the brain can function better. And also, is there a genetic component? So why is genetic testing is important to find out where the problem is, where is the problem, and supporting it so the body can heal. What model are we using? Are we using the disease model or are we using a healing models? That's my outline. So this is my health mastery. This is Dr. John Duong. So if I were to give you the key to your health mastery, would you want to receive it? Okay, so you are the one who's making decision for not only for your kids, but also for the whole family, because I've seen this is that's where my heart is. Okay, I've seen like a family that has ADD, ADHD kids. Autism is not the kids that's suffering, but also the whole family. How the family is being stressed out. The parents are in depressions or a lot of like health issue as well, because there's they are raising a challenged kid. So there's way out. There's a solution. I'm here to share with you what are the solutions. See if you will take actions. So this is my missions. What do I do? How am I different from other doctors that you've seen in the past? So what do? I create a healing. We create healing habits so the mind and the body and the soul can heal from within. If you have a problem, how are you going to fix it? If you have a diagnosis, it's just a symptoms. How are we going to fix it? It's creating a healing habit so the body can heal from within. This is what we do. What value can I give you? Why do I love what I do? Yes, because if you have any health challenge, any physical pain, we believe the solution is inside you. Together, what do? We create the healing habits so allow the mind, the body, and the soul to heal from within. As a result, our patient live a better quality life. You need to live a better quality of life. That's the purpose that we are here for. What are the strategies? I'm saying that I am Thomas Edison's doctors. Okay, what is he saying? The future of doctors will give no medicines, but he will instruct his patient in the care of the human frame, the structures. If you have a structural problem, does that affect the organs? Okay, so if you have an organ problem, does it affect the structure? So we need to know why the structures is so important. That's where acupuncture, chiropractic, and physical therapy, and that's why exercise is so important. When you exercise, you generate the power, the voltage to heal your body. So that's why it's the human frame, in the care of the human frame, in diet. In diet, what it does is I always put the finger like this, the care of the human frame in diet. But now our diet changes, genetic modified, hybrid food. We don't have the right nutrients that's going in our plant, the design of the plants to heal the body. So now we change the creator's work, and now we pay the price. We don't have the right nutrients. So the thing is that once we know about the genetic weaknesses are, the genetic will tell us where the weaknesses are. So now you can put in the right foods to in our system so the body can heal from within. So, and then also the education and prevention of disease. This is what I do. That's why I call myself, I am Thomas Edison Doctors, because I fulfill what Thomas Edison's predict the doctors have to do. Stats, according to the National Survey of Children's Health, in 2003, there is 4.4 million kids with ADHD. And in just say, in 2011, there were 6.4 children has ADD, ADHD. In 8 years, there's an increase of 2 million kids, more kids that has ADD, being diagnosed with ADD, ADHD. This is according to the Autism Research Foundation. In 1975, there's 1 out of 5,000 is being diagnosed with autism. How about now? This is not even now, it's like in 2014, 1 out of 45 boys has autistic. Okay, so why are we getting healthier or getting sicker? What can we do as a society to help the kids' populations? There's more stats here. 1 in 3 is overweight, 1 in 6 is learning disabilities, 1 in 10 is ADD, ADHD, and 1 in 54 males have autism. The number is getting lower and lower. This is the old stats. Okay, so now we need to ask our questions. Is that if the kids has an issue, they have their symptoms, how do we want to take care of them? There's choices that we can do. The first choice is to take it as a disease management problem. Okay, so you just like, if the kids has an issue, you have to live with it, or you just take the medication, hopefully it works. Or you're taking a healing models. The body can heal from within. What is wrong with my body so I can heal from within? This is a over 5,000 years history of healing. The healing from within. That's an ancient healing, Chinese healing. Okay, so the body has to heal from within. If you want the kids to have a better quality of life, the kids can improving, the kids can learn again, the kids can function again. You have to go, well, what's wrong with my body? How can I fix the body from within? So to me, ADD, ADHD are some of the symptoms. Autism is some of the symptoms. There must be a reason that they have these symptoms. Okay, for like behavioral or conduct problem. Okay, so it's a challenge. Okay, the behavioral, like anxiety. There's also anxiety and depression for ADD kids. Hyperactive kids have anxiety as well, some of them. So, and then emotional behavioral disorder. And then also learning issue, verbal communication, autism. And then lack of focus, quiet, tired, cannot concentrate, has a learning challenges. So these are some of the symptoms. Why do they have these symptoms? That's what we need to find out. How can we find out? I will show you. So ADD, ADHD. Why do you have ADD, ADHD? Initially, people say, oh, the kids is like overactive. They were just running around and going, moving around and non-stop. What's going on? Okay, a lot of people saying that it's a dopamine problem. So, and some kids is being put on dopamines. When they put in dopamines, initially it works. So initially it works, and then a couple months later, oh, it doesn't seem to be working, increasing the dosage, and it works for a while, and then now it's not effective. What happened is that it's not just about the dopamine issue. It's about the inflammatory process as well. There's a neurotransmitter. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter. How about inflammations? So one thing that we need to ask is that why is if it's a dopamine, usually dopamine lasts. Dopamine is neurotransmitter. It usually lasts longer, like a couple of days. Like for example, if people feel depressed, they don't depress all of a sudden. You have to depress a couple of days. But the kids that has like ADD, ADHD, they can change their behavior very rapidly. What is the reason for that rapid changes? It's not just about the neurotransmitter dopamine, but it's also about the inflammations. So that's why feeding the kids with the sugars, it's just exciting them more and they will go wild. That is the inflammatory process. Some parents said, oh, these kids, when they ever eat gluten, this kids is going to be hyper. There's the excitatory in gluten. How about food sensitivity causing inflammation that's going up in the brain? So just want to share with you some the latest research. And 2015, what happened is that there's a new technology. There's a new PET scan that's able to be able to see what's the inflammatory process in the brain. So we can measure the inflammation, in particular the glia cells that's responsible. The glia cells is responsible for the immune inflammations. So now they're able to see there's like ADD, ADHD, autism. They'll be able to see, identify inflammations in the brain with these kids. So my point is that it's not just about the dopamine. It's also about the inflammations, the inflammatory process in the brain. What else? How about the detoxification? How well is the detox? How about methylations? What's methylations means? Like when you make dopamine, you need to have the methylated. It needs to be from serotonin, need to be made into dopamine. You need to be methylated. The 5-tetra methylfolate. So those are their methylation is important. So that's the precursor to make dopamine. That's one of the reasons I said earlier that the medication works initially and it doesn't works later on, because if you keep squeezing the body from making more and more dopamine, initially it works, but eventually it ran out of dopamine because it could be that there's a methylation problem. How do we know all this? Genetic testing will give us the weaknesses in the body, so now we can be able to find out where the potential weaknesses are and how can we support it. ADD, ADHD, the inattentiveness, the lack of focus, the kids that sit in the corner is very quiet and doesn't create a lot of issue to the class. Usually, like most of the time, they're not being diagnosed until later in age, but they are very quiet and they like in an active learning issue as well, lack of focus. So when you take in the ADD, the ADHD medication, it doesn't seem to be effective on these kids because it's not about the dopamine. It is something else. It's that glutamine convert to GABA. Glutamine is excitatory. GABA is relaxing. So is there a pathway issue over there? Okay, so we need to find out. Now I'm talking about autism. Autism is one of the most challenging. What it does is that why is the kids, like for example, like 16 years old, the brain is being developed to be 16 years old. So the brain is not an issue, but the functioning of the brain is an issue because there's the damage of the brain. So the kid is 18 years old, or his brain, the capacity or the functioning level can be like 4 years old. So there's not a brain issue, but the functioning, there's a software. I'm talking about the software issue. So when we help these kids, the kids can function better, and now they have a better capacity of learning. So they will need to relearn from like 4 years old, for example, now can have the capacity to learn. After we give them the right support, now they can learn to be 5 years old, and then 6 years old, and continue to progress based on how we're fixing the inflammatory process, the neurotransmitter detoxification. How do we know? Genetic testing. Autism. So immune response, like I said, immune response to the informations. Why did they have the issue in the first place? Usually it's their immune system turning on, the genes that's turning on the immune system is quite aggressive. And then how about the immune system that's turning off the informations can be an issue. How do we know all this? Genetic testing. Okay, so there's more. What's the cause? The underlying cause of the problem. Why is there a issue with the brain in the first place? Because most of the time it is information. There can be a lack of the probiotic, food sensitivity, like I said, gluten. Earlier, the lack of probiotic in the guts. How do we know if you have a lack of probiotic in the gut? FUT2 genes. That's the genes that we take a look at. How about the vitamin D? Do you have it's not that you're lacking of vitamin D. Oh, I take plenty of the D, but how about the receptors that within the cell? How can we know? Genetic testing. Histamines. What type of food are you eating? A lot of histamine food, even veggie like spinach, tomatoes. When you eat those, if they're like leftover food, if you eat those, if you have a histamine issue genes, then you will have more inflammation. When you have more inflammation, then there will be inflammatory response, inflammation that's affecting the brain. Also, we find out autophagies. Lots of the autistic, we link it to like autophagies. Autophagies is their 2016 Nobel Prize winner. This is the very latest research. 2016 Nobel Prize winners in medicines is about the discovery of autophagy. What's the simple term of autophagy? Is a cellular degrading and then recycling system in your body. So how well your body is being recycled. The cell needs to die off, and so the body can make new functional cell. So if the cell has an issue of of dying out and recycling it, then you will have a lot of like the way that I describe it is a lot of trash in your body, in your system. Therefore, the cell-to-cell communication is an issue. So a lot of linkage with autophagies, neurotransmitters like GABA, like I said earlier, glutamine convert into GABA, excitatory to get things done, and at the end of the day, you need to convert into GABA so you can sleep, so you can relax, so you can heal. But what happens if you have that type of genes? There's issue. Okay, so and also ADD, ADHD, kids have have that genetic issue. So what's the solution? When they have ADD, ADHD, autisms, what you need to do is to find out where is the issue, where's the potential issue, how can we find out the problem, and now we can support the body with the right nutrient so the body can function better and heals. So that's the approach that we have to do. Like we have choices. Is the disease management or the healing model that we are giving the kids a better chance to heal? Okay, so how can we heal from within? That's the important questions. So what's next? So you understand this process. So I'm sure you will have more and more questions about this, because what information I'm just like letting you know is the latest, and you have not heard of it from your doctors or from your colleagues, from your research. So I'm putting everything together so you can understand. You will have more questions. And what's next? What do you need to do? Consultation with me, and I will go over what are some of the symptoms. The more symptoms that can correlate with me, the more I will be able to help you to answer those questions. And then if it's needed, then I will always recommend a genetic test to find out where the weaknesses are. Okay, so do I treat, like people said, oh, do I treat ADD, ADHD, or autism? I don't treat condition. I do not give diagnosis. I do not treat. I just take it as a symptoms. What's wrong with the symptoms and how can we support the body? The body can function. So the body can heal. That's the approach. This is a 5,000 years old healing techniques. The body has to heal from within. So the consultations with me, and then I will help you to unwind the process and help to support the healing of the kids. So the consultation for half an hour with me is $287. So today's my offer is $47. And I also lay out is that you must be willing to make a serious lifestyle changes. The kids, once there's some changes that you need to make, but I will make it very simple so anyone that want to improve the quality of life of their kids and also themselves can do it. It has to be simple, but you have to have the willingness to make changes. And then also the accountabilities. So you have to make your changes, and then you have to take accountable. You have to follow the step. If I give you the key, I cannot open the door for you. You have to take the key and open the door, right? That's the analogy that I showed you earlier. I give you the health mastery, give you the key to the health mastery, but you have to use it, accountable. So I make it, my care plan is very affordable. So I would make it affordable for most people that want to come and get my help. And thank you. This is the information. And if you and your kids and your families want to live a better quality of life, I'm here to give you the answers to why are the kids having this type of symptoms. And I'm looking forward to meeting with you and meeting with your families. Thank you.